And welcome back to the Main Event Sports Show. We're coming to you live from the palatial Old Louisville Pizza Pub here at 1201 South 1st Street in historic Old Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the our live broadcast here at Main Event Live. This is Championship Night. Now, by the time you guys actually see this video, it'll most likely be Tuesday or Wednesday. So you already know who won, so who cares? Don't worry about that. That's not important. What's important is who I have here right now. I have with us Council President David James himself. David, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Man, it's good to be here. Good to be here. Good to have you on the show finally.
I'm glad to be here on the show, man. The Haven Harrington.
That's right. That's right. So let me ask you a question. I'm assuming you are a Louisville sports fan. Would that be a good assumption?
Amen.
Okay. I know you worked for the greatness that was and is and always shall be the University of Louisville.
Go Cards!
So do you have like a favorite sport? Football, basketball, volleyball, tiddlywinks, badminton?
Football and basketball.
In that order?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
They're about even.
That's pretty good. No,
Okay.
Like I make no bones about it. I'm like a football first guy, and like basketball like a distant second.
Why? Why is it distant?
You know, I'm just as a kid growing up, I was like a huge basketball fan. I could tell like everybody through like the mid '80s who played for U of L, the bench and everything else. But as I got older, it's like the lure of football just kind of took over. I think it's like my mom and all my aunts kind of really cemented football because like they're all like my sister, my mom, my great aunts were like all 90 to 100. They're all 100 now, but they're like all like diehard football fans.
Was that because of the players or the coaches?
It's football.
Okay.
Because they all live in Florida, and like they just like it was all about football.
All right.
Like my great aunt was telling me about Tim Tebow, and this dude was like in Little League football, and was telling me this white guy's coming up. We got this white guy coming up. His name's Tim Tebow. I'm telling you, he's one of the next big thing. And this dude was like, looked like middle school playing football because like my aunts watch like high school football, college, pro. They could tell you anything about
like football.
Yes, they're like football fanatics.
Pursuit of football.
Yes, these ladies in their 80s, you will see them like at high school football games in the stadiums and can tell you who's playing and where they're playing and where they're from.
So now I know where you got it.
And that's where I got it. That's where I got it.
Okay.
So now we know that you're like U of L fan. Do you have like a favorite player or a favorite coach?
Charlie Strong.
Really?
Charlie Strong.
Why Charlie?
Well, you know, when Charlie Strong came to U of L, he did it a different way. And you know, he was all about football, but he was also more about the players becoming men and being able to graduate and do something other than football if that didn't work out for them once they graduated. And he was about building character and ensuring accountability. He would show up in their classroom out of the blue, and if one of the players was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, like texting his phone instead of listening to the instructor, there was going to be a problem. And so, you know, I just really enjoyed Charlie Strong.
You know what? Charlie is actually one of my favorite Louisville coaches as well. Mainly because when he first became head coach at University of Louisville, he granted us an interview. You know, which is not uncommon because we're a sports show. We represent West Louisville, especially with him being the first.
You are Haven Harrington.
And I am Haven Harrington. It helps too. But he's also my frat brother. It's also helped a lot with getting an interview because U of L is actually kind of stingy with getting certain outlets interviews with their top line coaches.
Right.
But we had an interview with Charlie Strong that lasted almost like 2 hours.
That's outstanding.
That's beyond outstanding. You get that time. You get that much time like with no football at any level, D1, D2, D3, Little League. It doesn't matter. We talked, I think, like 45 minutes, like on the record, and then the rest was like off the record, talking about his life, where he grew up, the struggles he had trying to be a black coach, trying to get his first head coaching job. I was in love with Charlie after that. I was like, "You my man."
Yep.
You my man.
I'm going to tell you a quick Charlie Strong story. So when Charlie first got there, you know, he was about this accountability piece with the players. So one of the players in one of the dorms had a domestic situation with his girlfriend and ended in a physical altercation. And when the RA tried to correct the situation, the player cussed out the RA. So the RA ended up calling the football coach. And Charlie found out it's like 2 a.m. He got out of bed, drove to the dorm. When he got there, he had all the other coaches meet him there. Every player had to line up in the middle of the street in front of the dorm, jog to the stadium, turn on the stadium lights, and run stadium stairs till sunrise. There's no more trouble after that.
Oh, wow. Now that's discipline. That's that old school discipline. That's like that Howard Snellenberger discipline.
That's it, man.
Man, because we used to hear stories, some of the players talk about Howard Snellenberger before he had rules and stuff about how, like, when you can practice and how late you can practice.
Right.
If they would lose a game and look bad, when that plane landed at Stanford Field, they would come straight to Cardinal Stadium and practice for like 3 hours.
After the game?
After the game. No matter what time. They got in at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're practicing at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean.
That sounds like Howard.
Yeah, I said, that's an old school discipline. It's like, Charlie, man. I'm not surprised you flamed out of Florida. I mean, at Texas, I thought that was a bad fit.
Yep.
But now he's back in South Florida. He's doing big things.
He is.
I would not be surprised if he gets another look at another big-time program like
I think he will.
sometime soon.
I just don't think they appreciated him in Texas. I don't think they were ready for Charlie Strong in Texas. And now he's back in Florida and he's doing his thing, and I think he's doing well.
Yeah, there you go. So, do you have any other great Cardinal memories that you could tell us about?
No, I just love U of L, man. I love the championship game that we won in 2013, no matter what anybody else says about that game.
That's right.
And, I love the Cardinals. I just love the Cardinals.
And there you go. Now, as the president of Metro Council, so because all our listeners here do reside in the city of Louisville, what kind of legislation is coming up, or what's going on with the city now that our citizens really need to kind of look out for and be in tune with?
I would really say that right now my biggest concern is the city budget. And, you've probably seen on TV the teachers are in Frankfurt protesting. Go teachers. I think you heard about the pension crisis. But what that pension crisis really means is that the state has levied a $38 million pension tax onto the city that we don't have $38 million just sitting around. And so that means that it's going to be reduced services for the city, reduced services for the constituents in our city. And, the really wealthy people in our city don't really need a lot of constituent services. It's the people that really need constituent services that are going to be hurt the most. And so there's a thing called Senate Bill 66 that can relieve that pressure from the city. It's not making any movement in the legislature. And we really need people to call their state legislator and say, please pass Senate Bill 66, because without that, come July 1, bad news is coming in the city of Louisville.
Hey, you heard it here, Senate Bill 66. Get on it, because it's not fair that the cities such as Frankfurt's not a real city. I'm talking about cities such as Louisville, Lexington, Northern Kentucky, like the real economic engines of the state
are going to be punished.
If they get punished and they can't improve the state, then they can't improve the cities, then that's just bad news for us to the state, because they depend on us.
Exactly. We are the engine for the state. And so if Louisville gets hurt, the entire state gets hurt, and that's a horrible thing.
Oh, man, it is horrible. It is horrible. So we can't let that happen. So, what other things, that's what going on in Frankfurt, but what's going to happen locally here within Jefferson County we need to watch out for?
I think some good news is it doesn't get talked about much is the Yum Center, since we're talking about U of L. So, last year we changed the bonding issue for the Yum Center so that the city pays annually $10.6 million to the Yum Center in order to make the bond payments. That's going to allow us to pay down the Yum Center a lot quicker than we had originally planned on. But in doing so, it's causing us to be able to work with the University of Louisville better. The University of Louisville kicked in an extra $2.5 million into that payment. And so because the Yum Center is going to be successful, U of L is going to be successful, I think another thing that people, at least on this sports show, should be thinking about is that professional basketball is now part of that conversation.
Well, that's my next question.
All right. So professional basketball is now part of that conversation, and we have some really talented people here in our city that are working that really hard. The Yum Center is in position now to take advantage of that now that we've got the financing straight. And so, I'm excited about the opportunities.
Now, since you brought up the NBA team, which happens to be a topic that we love so much.
All right.
What are your thoughts about Louisville trying to attract an NBA franchise? Number one, do you think it's feasible? It could work here in this market?
I think it's feasible. I think it'll work in this market.
And are you pretty supportive of our efforts?
Absolutely. The Metro Council passed a resolution a couple years ago telling the NBA that we are supportive and that we will do what we need to do in order to get them here.
Hey, there we go. Now, do you have any do you care what the team name is so that they call like I know last time they were going to come with the Hornets when they were going to move here,
right.
They was going to take the name Kentucky Colonels, and the Yum Center was going to be named possibly the Bucket. I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know.
The Bucket. But anyway, I digress on the Bucket talk. I was in favor, just out of the Bucket.
But now that you're talking about that, the naming rights that the Yum Center has expires this summer.
Okay.
So that is open for anybody and everybody this summer.
So, hey, if you got $16 million, I think that's what U of L signed up with name rights. So you got $16 million. Hey, we can name the Yum Center after your cousin Bob.
The Haven Harrington Center.
Hey, the Harrington Dome.
The Harrington
there we go.
Dome. That's it, man.